Hi, I'm Lorraine, your favorite lawyer. And this is the final episode in my Rapid Rundown WNBA CBA series. Today we are breaking down the impasse, why the league and the players are still so far apart, and what it means for the future of the W. So the WNBA and the league remain on opposite ends of the table. Players are pushing for revenue sharing directly tied to growth, and the WNBA has countered with fixed salary caps, which the players call pretty polar opposite to what they're demanding. Now, the league's ownership structure does add another complicated layer to all of this. So about 42% is controlled by WNBA owners, some of whom also own NBA teams. Another 42% is owned by the NBA, and then 16% is owned by a 2022 investment group. That means that less than half of the new $2.2 billion media rights deal will flow directly into the WNBA itself, making a true 50-50 split like the NBA model way more complicated. In her recent interview with Christina Williams, Commissioner Cathy Engelbert acknowledged that the next CBA must be transformational, but also sustainable. She highlighted surging viewership, attendance, and fan engagement, all things I talked about in prior Rapid Rundown, shameless plug, but paired it with a call for responsible financial modeling. Sustainability doesn't mean pulling back. In business, it means investing ahead of growth. The NBA, for example, invested in infrastructure, marketing, TV production, and arenas long before it turned profitable. That is what created sustainability. For the WNBA, things like charter flights, roster expansion, and better family protections are not luxuries. They're the infrastructure that keeps momentum from collapsing under its own weight. And keep in mind that any delay comes with its own risk. That $2.2 billion media deal kicks in by 2026, right when new expansion teams in Portland and Toronto launch. Sponsors and investors want certainty now, calling for caution when the market is demanding acceleration, risks turning today's momentum into tomorrow's missed opportunity. And then there's Adam Silver. Now, his claim is that the NBA has subsidized the WNBA to a tune of $10 million a year. Now, let's put that in perspective. The NBA generated over $11 billion in revenue last season, with a $76 billion media rights deal about to begin. I'm not that great at math, but $10 million is less than 0.1% of their annual revenue. Hardly the burden it's been made out to be. And let's be real, losses by themselves aren't proof of failure. The NBA knows that. NBA lost money for nearly 40 years before it became profitable. Growth leagues take investment from MLS to the NHL. Every major league took years of red ink before profitability. The difference? The WNBA is already delivering billion-dollar media rights and nine-figure franchise valuations just under 30 years in. By that measure, it's ahead of schedule. And it highlights how ridiculous it is to expect the W to be immediately profitable when it's outpacing its NBA counterpart at the same stage of life. Now, the current CBA expires on October 31st, 2025, and an extension is possible if progress is real. But if not, a lockout or a strike, the very first in league history, is still very much on the table. Players have made it clear they are prepared to fight for as long as it takes. And that closes out my WNBA CBA Rapid Rundown series, from the foundation to the money to the welfare to leverage and now the impasse. This negotiation will shape women's basketball for the next decade and women's sports as a whole. Do you think the league is moving too cautiously, or are players right to demand bold investment right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for my quick five and also a recap carousel pulling this whole series together. Happy finals.